Hello there you guys, it's Michelle Lottie and welcome back to another video on this channel. So today I'm bringing you another Sims 4 speed build in our tiny house series. So today I thought I would go for tiny house tier 2, which I think is actually called the tiny house, and the first one was the micro house, I think. But yeah, I thought I would give that a go today, and the style that I wanted to go for was a very modern build, but I wanted to make it very desert themed. So obviously I put it in Strangerville and it's surrounded by sand and all of that, but I just kind of wanted to make it very palm tree like and lots of cacti and just a really nice hot family, not really family, it's more like a couple's retreat tiny house in a nice hot place with a lovely swimming pool that I decided last minute to add in. So I really wanted to go for a modern style of build, so I went with two square stacks. So yeah, a square stacked upon another, and luckily it just about reached within the limits of 64 tiers. 64 tiers? What am I talking about? 64 tiles that it had to be. So I've learned that when you're building these, the 64 or the number in total includes the any upper tiers you make, even if it overlaps the tiles you've already covered on the ground, it still counts as like an additional. So that is what I decided to go with. I wanted to make the doors and the windows very modern. I feel like I struggled with finding the right windows the most. I've been doing this a lot recently, but I don't know, I was trying to find something that wasn't too old looking, and kind of in my head old is related to wood, I don't know why, but there was a lot of white bright woods featured in this build, but I wanted to go with some really nice modern looking, very glassy and open windows and doors, which I kind of ended up with. Then the only tricky thing with making multiple story houses that are meant to be tiny houses is a large amount of your lot and the building rather is going to be taken up by the stairs, because annoyingly I can't believe they didn't do it, and I've heard some discussion about how it should be in the tiny house game pack or whatever it was. They didn't bring in ladders for some reason, which would have been such a nice space saver and like really would have fit in with the pack. So I just had to go with some stairs, and I actually realized I completely forgot to playtest this, but I believe the way that I did it is functional. So with the kitchen, it was very cramped. I put it in this corner. I had a fridge, at least one counter to cook on, so to prepare stuff. I had a sink which was accessible, and obviously not at the same time as the other counters, and then also the cooker. So this is functional for one person cooking, if that makes sense. If multiple people were in the kitchen, probably it wouldn't work because it's such a small house. But in tiny houses you kind of have to expect that it's only going to be functional for one person at a time, if that makes sense, each place of the house. Like the bathroom would probably be a bit of a sticky situation with two people in it when we come to it, as you'll see, but definitely very functional for one. So the kitchen, again, I worked with some grey woods, so I went for a grey and white theme for the whole house, just because I wanted it to be very bright, I guess. To me, modern is very bright and very not too clinical, because I feel like if you have to be careful when you use a lot of whites when building in The Sims, it can look very clinical and sterile and not very homely, and I feel like I almost kind of went borderline like very sterile with the bathroom. All the others I think I made look a little bit homey, because what I did was I added a bit of colour with some accents in like the sofa and stuff like that, and obviously like the bookshelf has a bit of colour because of the books, which you'll see in a bit, and also some plants I add colour with, of course, as I always do. So yeah, here with the bathroom, much like all the other rooms that I went and designed, I made the walls very like stony and kind of brickwork and like very faded, but I really like that look. I feel like it's quite modern in studio apartments and things like that. They use bricks and like washed out stuff, that kind of thing, so that's what I went for. And then with the living room. This was kind of very open plan because, again, building walls just makes it feel very small and it makes it even more cramped in my opinion. So I made it very open plan, and I found this really cool thing, which is a bookshelf as well. I think it's a stair as well actually, but also a TV, which is again a very nice space saver. So I went for that, and added a few plants and some nice rugs and things to make it look a little bit more homely, and that's open plan with the kitchen. And then I went back and added some more plants everywhere, and I really like these wall plants. I do try and experiment with them a lot, but that wasn't where I left them, don't worry. I ended up putting them in the kitchen here, and I really do like the kitchen. It was quite cozy. I really did like it. But yeah, that is what I went for. And then upstairs, I made the same brick layout as the wallpaper as the downstairs, and I wanted to make it really, really super glassy and open, so that's what I went for. I went for a bit, I didn't do the whole thing in glass at first, but at the end I went and added to it. So the whole of the upper bedroom, as inconvenient as it is, was entirely glass in terms of the walls, which I did really like in the end. And then I even went a step further, you'll see with the roof. But here with the bedroom, again, I went with the white theme. It did look a little bit plain. I wasn't sure with the bed, to be honest, in the swatch. There were a few beds I looked through, but none of them really looked nice. And I wanted to carry on with the white theme, so I just went with this one. But then again, I went and added some lovely plants to spruce it up a little bit, and also a nice mirror, which is nice. And then also a little rug. But yeah, it was the biggest room, the bedroom, and I think I could have made it a little bit better if I made it a single bed, and then I could have added more, maybe a desk with a computer, and made it more of an interesting house where you could actually function as a sim and like build skills and that sort of thing. But I went for a double bed because I thought it'd be a really nice couple's house, so that's kind of the vibe I went for. When I'm building tiny houses, it's really hard to think about it being very functional and playable, really. Well, not so much functional, obviously I try to make it as functional as possible, but in terms of it being playable, in terms of it being like a household where a sim can build skills and learn a career rather than just eat and drink and sleep, yeah, I struggle with that because space is a very difficult thing to work with. But yeah, as you can see, I moved onto the roof and I decided to go for a fully glass roof, which I thought was ultra modern and must be absolutely horrible in this desert because it would be very, very hot. But I really liked it. Also, I wanted to make this a balcony, but then I realized again that if I did that, it would count as more tiles, but if you leave it like that, it thinks it's a roof, so it doesn't count as tiles, if that makes sense. So I left it as a roof, but I left it as a flat roof, and I added some really nice bushes you'll see in a minute. But yeah, if ideally I would like that to be a nice balcony, maybe with a hot tub and some sunbeds, but we're doing a tiny house here, so we were a little bit limited, but I was still quite happy with it, just having the upstairs being a nice bedroom, really. And then apparently I tried to put a fountain in, but yeah, probably not very ideal. Not at all, not in a tiny house. And then I went back and added some nice lights. I didn't want to go for warm tone lights. I like going for the bright white lights. In general, I like doing that in houses. I feel like the orangey yellow toned lights aren't very nice. But yeah, so I went for some lovely bright white modern looking lights. And then to just add a bit of colour, just a random fried sunny morning egg picture, because why not? And then I did the roof a little bit, and then I had a little bit of a fiddle with the porch. I should have put a plant on the porch now I'm looking at it. I don't know why I didn't in the end. Instead I decided to make all the foundations like wooden pillar things, scaffolding thingy mabobby things, which is always good. And then I changed the stairs a bit and all sorts, and then I had a brilliant idea because this bit of the roof looked so plain. I thought, why don't I add a little lining accent of bushes, which is what I did, and I think it actually made the house look a lot more decorative and less plain from the outside. And then I added some nice palm trees to keep with the tropical desert theme, as well as a little cluster of plants including cacti and a succulent, and then of course I surrounded it by some lovely rocks and actually went to the detail of filling it in with terrain paint of soil, which I thought was quite nice. I like it. It just actually makes it look like a little plant slash flower bed, which I like. And then I made a little pathway using terrain paint as well, and got this really very strange mailbox, but again, kind of modern, I guess, and that's why I went with it. And then that's basically it for the front of the house. And then randomly I decided, you know what, why not build a swimming pool? Because modern, desert, you need something to cool you down. And I don't know, I haven't made a build with a swimming pool for a while, so I thought, why not? I don't think I've done any on this channel, actually. It was a pretty basic swimming pool though. But yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. I hope you liked this little speed build, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know what other builds you would like to see me make on The Sims. Do feel free to subscribe for videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!